Alright, morning guys. So today is gonna be a filming on my off day slash recovery day, and kind of showing you guys what I do typically. I got an early morning client today, and then I'm heading off to get some active release therapy, massage therapy, chiropractic care, basically all the tools that help me stay working and functioning at my old ass age. But first things first, you guys know I love my coffee, so and I'm actually fasting today because I just got a lot to do this morning. I didn't feel like eating, so I'm gonna do some one of my favorites, which is Starbucks, of course, and getting me a half calf Americano. It'll probably, I won't eat until after my massage, so it'll end up being around 16 hours, something like that. And again, I'm just busy today, having to be out and about all day, so I'm not really concerned with eating. I ate plenty last night after my workout, and my muscle glycogen stores are plenty full. I'm not gonna lose any muscle. People freak out all the time. I always get asked about fasting. Now I don't ever have a set plan with it. I just do it when I feel like I need it. Days that I'm working a lot and really busy, as long as I'm not training, I'll typically throw a fast in. However long, it can be 12 hours, it could be 18 hours. It just varies. I typically don't do caffeine first thing in the morning on an off day. I typically stick with decaf, but it's just early morning and I want it, so I'm gonna have it, which is only gonna be like 100 milligrams of caffeine or something like that in a Americano. So I'm right here at Starbucks right now. I'm gonna order this, head to the gym, train a client, and then head off to get some active release. I've been training at Lexington Athletic Club one-on-one for 20 years now. I have my more or less set clientele, besides, you know, online clients that are flying in. You know, they're good to me. They're kind of like family now. We've known each other for so long. So I still enjoy training them, being around them. They're great people. Anybody being a coach, in my opinion, online coach, should at some point in time have done some one-on-one coaching. That's just my opinion. I just don't think there's anything that replaces that. One-on-one is completely different than online, but I think it sets you up to be a good online coach and just to have that one-on-one experience. I hate waiting online like this. Usually it's not that bad in the mornings, but I'm right in the brick of traffic with my Americano here. Well, guys, the next time you see me, I'm going to be heading out to active release. I might get a little bit of my client, but then we'll go from there. All right, so we're here at Dr. Brian Arena's office for my torture. And I've been dealing with, if you guys know, some elbow issues. They've been flaring up on me. We've been working on it, it's getting better, a little bit at a time. Feeling a little bit of tension everywhere just because I beat my body to the ground right now. So this is Brian. You've seen him on my channel before. Very, very popular on my channel. And disregard any pain faces or any cussing you might hear, because this is going to be unedited and this is just what it is. So he's on.
All right, so with Alan, we've been seeing a lot of medial elbow tension coming along with his training. He knows how to biomechanically alter to be able to isolate some muscles in a better fashion so he doesn't have the pain. But there's still some little things that come from just the amount of volume and the intensity that he's going through that causes some compensations. We've looked at medial elbow pain from him having some tightness in the shoulders. We've had medial elbow pain from not firing proper biceps patterns. And what I was looking at the other day is he had a good video about his rack presses. You were doing the pin presses. And I noticed when you get into full extension, your elbow internally rotates. So you're great in the starting position. He has a great scapular setup. Everything's perfect. He's getting good tension out of the hole. But when you get into lockout position, instead of having upper thoracic extension, you're making up with shoulder internal rotation. So I think it's putting a lot more medial stress on the elbow. So we're going to play with that. And
I talked to Esty, and Esty, I saw her finally, and they're thinking that obviously the tendon's like this is coming from my shoulder capsule. She's like, because I can isolate, you know, and do that movement that I do with the chains.
and zero pain with a heavy load.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously not putting any type of stress on this capsule because I'm stabilized here.
So if this is how we always tell if it's an elbow issue versus a shoulder issue. I'm going to have Alan demonstrate this with face to the camera here. So I'm going to have you take your hand out in front of you like this, and I want you to supinate as far as you can. Now you can see how he's pretty limited in there. He's close to about 45, 50 degree angle here, maybe a little bit more than that. He's supposed to be closer to 0 degrees, which is proper external rotation of the shoulder joint itself. So that shows that he's very tight in the shoulder capsule. If he goes to 90 degrees, which will take out any of the shoulder mechanics and supinate now, he can get almost completely flat. So this is showing that the real problem isn't technically originating from the medial elbow. It's actually originating from a lot of the tightness in the shoulder capsule.
So this is caught in the middle.
Yeah,
Basically getting beat up.
Essentially.
Another thing too is like, obviously he does active release on me and he adjusts things. But the big thing is activation. It's not just let's beat the tissue up and grind it away and hopefully it goes away. He's really good at, okay, we need to do this to activate this to set you along a path that's going to heal the issue. Just getting tissue dug out isn't going to solve anything. It's fine, but we need to actively get me into the motions that I need to get into and turn things on, basically.
Essentially, yeah, the mobility work and the scraping that we do is great for a short-term benefit. But ultimately, to have that long-term fix of mobility is you need to load it down in that proper pattern. So that's why we do a lot of activations, really, especially recently, we've seen his shoulder rotator cuff hasn't been firing as properly as it should be. So we've been doing some isometrics at end range and multiple ranges throughout to figure out a little bit better range of motion in the shoulder. So always got to check rib function, especially when you're talking about shoulder girdle mobility. The ribs have to be able to move properly for the shoulder blade to rotate around the rib cage. Anytime you have shoulder girdle issues, you also want to check the CD junction, because actually if you get into any type of an abduction moment where you're getting overhead, the CD junction actually slightly laterally flexes about 10 or 15 degrees. CT means where your cervical and thoracic start to meet, so your C7, T1, kind of right where the bar rests where you squat. So if it's not rotating properly, you're going to have a weird scapulothoracic rhythm, start getting a lot of overfiring in the trap, and start getting a lot more tension in that levator scap trap area, shuts off your lats, and a lot of biomechanical things, which his left side's a little fired up over there and locked up in the junction. So we're going to scrape that and release it. So some of the redness that you see on his shoulders is pretty normal when you have a lot of overuse of those tissues in the area. All it is a lot of, think of like trigger points, just releasing a lot of blood in the area. So it's normal to get a little bit of redness where there's a lot of irritation, but usually goes away in a couple days.
So what is the big thing with me not that I'm compensating is like my telomeres and subscap not firing properly, or
when you're getting the full extension, you're shutting your subscap and serratus off.
Okay.
Well, they're kind of overfiring basically, but they're not firing in the right pattern, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because it's making your whole shoulder girdle internally rotate at that extension. So if you look at your last video, you have great mechanics going from the bottom all the way up, but when you get to extension, you actually start showing your bicep more.
Okay,
instead of being able to have that corkscrew, that external rotation.
That's funny because I'm doing like isometric holds at the top for like a second or so just to try to work, but I guess I definitely need to do those more, but externally rotate.
Yep, we'll play with that with the PVC pipe at the end of the session, so you can feel how that external rotation will actually help you fire your rear delts and your traps a lot more at that extension portion. So a lot of his tightness is you can't externally rotate, partially because the internal rotator is so tight, but also the external rotators are really tight and bound up as well. So typically looking at the infraspinatus here on the back of the shoulder blade, that's your strongest external rotator. If you have a hard time getting into a proper external rotation position in a shoulder press, usually this is the culprit. You can usually get in there with a lacrosse ball, release it yourself, do some activation, and you should be able to get that nice position there and be a lot more stable. We're gonna do a little ART on it. I want you to slowly reach to your back pocket for me. All ART is like a pin and stretch where the patient then, go ahead, actively fires the antagonist muscle group. So it helps with reciprocal inhibition. So fire your internal rotators, it helps loosen up your external rotators a little quicker. Basically you can't fire your biceps and triceps at the same time. It's the same idea with this. One more. There. push. Good. That's pretty good. Your Terry's just feeling pretty good this week.
Good.
Your lat's a little bound up right there. So one good pass with that Superman position. Go ahead. All right, I'll add one more. Go ahead. Good. Let me get your CT junction there. Yep. There we go. Excellent. So shoulder mechanics. Shoulder mechanics has a lot to go into it. There's 43 muscles that help with shoulder stability and mobility. Quite a bit of joints as well. Specifically looking at directly the shoulder joint, you have the glenohumeral joint, the AC joint, sternoclavicular joint. Those are the only 3 joints that actually control how your upper extremity attaches to your torso itself. So it's kind of like a floating bone with one bone basically to attach everything. So we gotta look at the actual mechanics here. The SC joint should externally rotate 15 degrees, and it's not. Neither is this AC joint. You can see it's kind of laying at parallel itself. He should be 15 to 20 degrees below parallel. So we're gonna open that up. It's just called a drop piece. Just puts a little stretch into the joint. Opens that wide up. So the rest of this is coming from muscular tightness. He tends to compensate a little bit with a muscle right here called the coracal brachialis, which tends to overfire when your AC joint is locked up. Coracal brachialis is it actually attaches where your pec minor and your biceps attach underneath your pec major, and out to the arm here. It's the front rack position muscle. And it usually is very uncomfortable, very nerve-like. There you go. So checking out shoulder mechanics itself, external rotation was looking at then how is the subscap doing itself. And you see as I try to force that range of motion, it's kind of bouncing, where it's taking up all the brunt, that medial elbow right here, it's taking all that pressure steadily right there. Yep. Okay. There's that subscap. You actively push back into my hand with your hand. There we go. Fire up that external rotator. Keep that pressure back and raise your arm overhead of your shoulder press. There we go. Good. Looking at internal rotation. Not bad. It's a little tight on the internal rotation, so we're going to see which ones are firing, which arms aren't firing. Press back as hard as you can with your hand. All right, so no external rotation there. Press forward as hard as you can. That one's firing pretty good. So we're going to do some isometrics at different ranges of motion to fire up all the different fibers. It's part of functional range conditioning, making sure that the muscle's firing in multiple positions, basically. Press back as hard as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press back. 3, 2, 1. Press back. 3, 2, 1. And out this side. 3, 2, 1. Good. Fire up all the stabilizers. A lot of times then relax your arm. Mobility starts to pull right back in, and he's down to that full 7 degrees into rotation, no problem. Alright. See some firing patterns, see if that serratus is working here. Press toward the window behind you. Alright. So this is where I was talking about, you're having a lot of issues with that, and you're not sustaining that tension through a full drive. So release the muscle, wake it up a little bit right there. For those of you unfamiliar, the serratus anterior is that little fingerling looking muscle on your rib cage, and it pulls your shoulder blade flush with the rib cage. Oh, good. Press behind you. Excellent. All right. Okay. Make sure your biceps firing. Press behind you. Good. Do a curl. Good. Curl up there. Good. Tricep extension. Good. So let's see what's compensating today then. So here's just forearm flexor, so I want you to forearm flex for me. Don't we pull? Okay, do a curl. Forearm flex again. So the biceps shutting off is forearm flexors. They actually cross the same fascia plane, so when there's too much tension here, steals the ability for that forearm flexor to actually stabilize that forearm joint, and the elbow, medial elbow area causes more pressure in the joint itself. So he's got some trigger points at the bicep. Bad day to come in here after squats. Sweat my butt off in here today.
Yeah, I was doing pause squat yesterday and it just did not feel right because I was doing pausing for 3 seconds and just that knee just it was not feeling right sitting as a whole.
Good. Forearm flex. I'm gonna pull. Bicep curl. Okay. Forearm flex again. Good. Feels a little bit better this week.
Yeah, I mean, like I haven't been doing anything to irritate it.
Yeah, it definitely feels better.
Even a lot of rest. So I'm literally sticking with that one tricep movement, nothing else.
Shoulder press for me, so we can show you what I was talking about with that. Okay. Okay. Good. So I don't know if you can feel. I know you guys can probably see a little bit how this side is internally rotated just a little bit here. Your biceps facing
I
forward.
can feel it.
Okay.
And this side a lot more than I can this side.
So I want you to just pull back down. Externally rotate from the get-go, so your elbow should be underneath. Okay. There you go. And you can feel how you're sitting flaring those lats and that serratus a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Now I want you to keep that position and try to break the bar slightly. There you go. And he flares that lat even more, takes the tension in the shoulder girdle. Now press up and back over the crown of your head, maintaining that tension. And lock it and force your head through slightly. There's that terminal extension. And it's taking the pressure off the elbow.
Oh yeah, there's nothing in the elbow. But just holding its position is hard.
Yeah, but that's where I'm saying that you can use that upper thoracic extension.
Yeah, I can feel it
to properly
traps
everything. That's why you're having a hard time with that rib issue as well, because he constantly has a left-sided rib T2, T3 depending on the week, and it keeps popping out because he keeps on trying to make up that range of motion with the shoulders instead of the upper thoracics. So just repattern that. So let's do 6 reps. Set the scap, elbows in line with the forearms. Try to break the bar, press up, back over the crown of your head, maintaining that tension. Force the head through slightly and engage those upper traps and delts. Good. Back down. Reset. Every rep. Brace the core, keep your rib cage down. Excellent. Yeah. So you can see how you originally did it. So you can see how his biceps slightly internally rotated. Everything's kind of dumping forward in the shoulder, making that pec tighter. So come back down, reset the platform, elbows underneath the wrists, good. Flares up the lats, press up and back now, maintaining that tension throughout the pinky area. Now you can see his bicep is now sitting in line with his ear. So you hear a lot of people say, finish with your ears. Well, that's what they're talking about. It's also keeping his scapulus pinned flush with the rib cage, and all they're doing is rotating like this rather than up over top.
That breaking the bar is like a big cue for me. It's like trying to bend it.
Yeah.
It's helping me with that motor pattern more than anything.
Now it's the same kind of cue when you're talking about a bench press as well, because you can even get into the same idea with the bench. Yeah, it looks like my shoulder blades are in a good position and I'm lowering down. You can kind of see if I come here, my shoulder wants to roll forward to the base there. Until I actually set the scapula and try to break the bar, my shoulder blade then will rotate around my rib cage and I can get better range of motion and better activation, so you're gonna have more power off the chest and less tension on the elbows.
That's just like night and day. So now, basically when I do my dead stop lower presses,
light and load up initially, which we all hate doing, but to get those motor patterns going, and then start increasing load once I get that really good.
Exactly.
Especially because I'm doing it unsupported as well.
Yeah.
So I have to stabilize even more.
If you want an ego check, do a non-back seated shoulder press. It's an ego check.
Because I can literally do double the weight when I'm supported because I got something to push into to stabilize. Without that, it's like, okay, it's a good thing though because it makes me aware of where I'm weak at and to get better and stronger. So I don't have these freaking issues.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But
awesome. So guys, a big learning thing here. Hope you got a lot out of this. Check out Brian. I'll have his info in the comments and stuff below in the description. I got his information too on the video when we walked in. The big thing when you go to someone, they need to know what they're doing. If you go to a regular chiropractor, there's a lot of quacks out there in my opinion. And it's just like, adjust, come back the next day. Adjust, they're not doing anything. They're not telling you stuff to do outside of the office to activate things, to help actually get you better. Run. Seriously. He knows what he's doing. He's a strongman. He'll actually be competing at the Arnold as well. So I love him to death because you see where I get all my stuff. He inspires me to do a lot of things and teaches me a lot, you know. So this is one of the brains that I go to help him with my content. So give him some love. I'll link his Instagram, all that stuff below too as well. All right, guys.
So it's definitely a learning experience. I mean, he teaches me a lot about tissue load, talking about how your body responds with especially like the HRV and stuff like that. If you're not resting properly, how your body is not going to respond, your tissues aren't going to respond, and it plays into how I operate as well and how your body responds from a chiropractic and health side of things as well. So, mad respect obviously for what you guys do and appreciate with all the content you guys put out too. So
it's just always learning, guys. Don't be so egomaniac. Learn off each other. Mm-hmm. That's what this is all about, is learning and educating one another. He knows stuff I have no clue about, and vice versa. It's the way it is. He's an expert in his field, I am in my field, but you can still correlate the two and they work well together. So until next time with my wife.
See you guys.
All right, guys, so you can see we've changed the ambiance here. So I just got done having Brian torture me, so now I'm going for a 90-minute massage to go a little bit. It's still deep tissue, but it's not scraping and stuff like that Brian is doing to me and killing me in a good way. So this is Mandy Kylie. Hey. She's been my therapist for a long time. She's the only one that I will go to here in town, just because most people can't go deep enough on me, or honestly know the functions and the way I do things and perform. She's probably one of the best that I've been to around here, so I definitely recommend her. We'll put her info in the comments below. So I'm going to do this for 90 minutes, hopefully make me feel fantastic, and then we'll get you afterwards. Alright, so I'm back from my massage. It's about 2 o'clock. So now I'm going to break my fast. Like I talked about earlier today, I just had so much going on this morning. I didn't feel like eating, and I hadn't fasted in a week or so, a week or two, so I felt like fasting. Just easier to get stuff done. So one key when you're breaking a fast, it's going to end up being like a 17-hour fast for me, is to, a lot of people will just eat a lot of junk or foods that they're typically not used to having. So the best thing you can do for your system is to have something that your body's familiar with, nutrients that you typically have each day. So what I am going to break my fast with, and also I recommend doing more of a fat-based, some nutrient-dense foods with some veggies, not so much carbs, because you don't want that initial inflammatory response. So I just find it better to do it more with a fat-based meal. So what I'm going to have today is I got my zucchini and my yellow squash here, sauteing, and I saute them in ghee, just clarified butter, which is really good for your gut health. And then I have my skinny beef here, which is grass-fed beef. And I just want to give a shout out to the skinny beef. You can see the labeling here. Awesome stuff. It's grass-fed, 2 grams of fat per serving. That's leaner than chicken. So skinnybeef.com. And people, I've given that, you have that because, you get it for free because you're sponsored. I've been buying this stuff for 3 to 4 years now, way before I got sponsored by them. So it's just a quality product. So I recommend it to anybody. Then over here I have 3 whole eggs being cooked. I like my eggs runny, my yolks runny over easy. The easiest way to do this that I found, put them in the pan, put it on like a low, medium heat, and then just cover them. That way it all kind of solidifies except for the yolk. It stays a little bit running. If you like it running, if not, obviously you can have it how you want. And these are just your basic Eggland's Best cage-free eggs. I get organic sometimes, but as long as it's cage-free, it's good stuff. So this is going to end up being around 60 to 70 grams of protein. I'm going to end up having around 30 to 40 grams of fat, and then also my veggies as well. Now the fat obviously is going to be coming mainly from my eggs, but then I'm also going to put just another teaspoon of ghee on top of that, and then I'll probably have some macadamias and walnuts on top of this as well. And the thing with my nuts, the easiest way people buy mixed nuts is to buy them from Trader Joe's. That way there's no other ingredients besides salt and the nuts, and not these oils and all this crap that they add into them. So I just buy a bunch of different ones, almonds, cashews, walnuts, macadamias, and then put them in a Ziploc bag, mix them up. Best thing that I found, and lasts a long time as well. So again, guys, breaking a fast, just make sure that you're putting something in your body that you're familiar with, and not some junk. It's just going to be easier on your digestive system overall, and not put the stress on there that you don't want. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, share it with friends, leave me some comments below on the thoughts that you had about it, and we'll talk to you soon.